So too, the fact that Hashem's light could be so limited that it could go to every specific created being according to its limitations comes through a very great limitation process, through a tzimtzum, which is like the letter Yud. But through the Torah and the good deeds that we fulfill in this world, this is expressing Hashem who encompasses all worlds. This is the main purpose of why the godly soul descended to become invested in a physical body. Because in this physical world, that's where the revelation of Hashem's encompassing light. That because of this encompassing light, it's able to refine the body and the animal soul and transform it from bad to good. According to how much he needs to do in order to accomplish his transformation, that's how many years of life Hashem decides a person should have. Some people Hashem gives 70 years, some 80 years, some 90 years. The amount of years of a person's life is how much time he needs to fulfill this mission of transforming his body and animal soul into holiness. According to the amount that he needs to refine and transform from bad to good. That every day he's refining and transforming only one aspect of the body and the animal soul, until throughout the course of his life he fulfills what he needed to accomplish in this refinement process. That was for that reason that the neshama came down to the world in the first place. The neshama itself is complete. It does not need to be corrected. It doesn't need to be perfected. The neshama itself is already holy and very, very holy. It came into this world on a mission to refine and transform the body and the animal soul and its portion in the world. And that's the amount of years of life that a person has in order to accomplish that mission. Chapter 3, top of page 17. But if a person made a blemish in this, what he's supposed to accomplish, because he committed a sin, because through his sin he brought down the life from his godly soul into the side which is the opposite of holiness, which is called unholiness, that he did not refine and transform what he was supposed to from his body and animal soul. That's the idea of Teshuva. Like we say, Hashem, we ask Hashem, please bring us back in complete Teshuva before you. Which the Alter Rebbe will explain later in the maamar, what's the emphasis on saying that Hashem should bring us with complete Teshuva before you, lefanecha. Even though our sages have said, when a person does Teshuva, he's forgiven immediately. So even though Hashem forgives the person for the fact that he rebelled against Hashem by sinning or not fulfilling the mitzvah, but the fact is, even though he's forgiven, he didn't accomplish what he's supposed to accomplish. That he did not accomplish what he was supposed to in this revelation of Hashem through the mitzvah. So even though he's forgiven, he won't be punished. The fact is, he didn't fulfill his mission. So how does Teshuva help to correct what he was lacking? If it's just that he should be forgiven, the fact is, he didn't accomplish it. So that's why we ask Hashem that we should do Teshuva on a deeper level. Not just Teshuva that we should be forgiven, that we shouldn't be punished, but Teshuva that should be so deep that should accomplish what we're supposed to accomplish through the mitzvahs. That whatever revelation of Hashem was supposed to happen through the mitzvah, through refining the body and the animal soul, such a deep Teshuva should be able to accomplish that same revelation of Hashem. So that's why we ask Hashem, bring us back in Teshuva before you. The word lefanecha, which means before you, could also mean to your innerness, to your essence. So that's what we're asking Hashem. Please help us to do Teshuva on an essential level. That that our Teshuva should reach your essence and thereby be able to accomplish whatever the mitzvahs we're supposed to accomplish. Which this level of Teshuva from Hashem's essence is even higher than the encompassing light, because this encompassing light is only encompassing in relation to worlds. But the essence of Hashem is beyond the whole idea of worlds. So if we're saying this encompassing light of Hashem encompasses all worlds, means its job is that it should encompass worlds. Meaning it has a connection to worlds. It's the encompassing light. Instead of the internalized light, it's the encompassing light. But still, it's a light which is for the worlds. Whereas Hashem himself doesn't need worlds. Hashem created all the worlds for a certain purpose, but he didn't need worlds in the first place. So the essence of Hashem is totally beyond the whole idea of worlds. Through Teshuva, on such a deep level that is connecting to the essence of Hashem, it reveals a new light from Hashem's essence, which will then fulfill whatever was lacking and whatever was missing from the mitzvahs that he didn't fulfill. So the real Teshuva, which is from connecting to the essence of Hashem, that's able to fill in whatever was lacking in the mitzvahs that he did not accomplish. So it's not just that he's going to be forgiven, he's going to actually repair and complete whatever he was supposed to accomplish in his mission in this world through this deeper level of Teshuva. On page 18 at the top. But how can a person in the physical world reach such a high level of connecting to the essence of Hashem, to draw down a new light from Hashem's essence? But it's for this reason that we're asking Hashem. We say, Hashem, please bring us back to you. And like it says in the Eicha, bring us back to you that we should return. Meaning, you Hashem should awaken in us a spirit from above, and you should give us your abounding mercies from the source of all mercies. What's the source of mercies? From the 13 attributes of mercy, which are enumerated, which are specified in the verse in Micha, where it says, who is like you, Hashem, who forgives iniquity, etc. Like we said in the first part of the maamar, we counted all the 13 attributes of mercy. Through the revelation of these 13 attributes of mercy, that's how we're able to do tshuva. We're able to reach a deeper level in our neshama, which is then going to reveal this essence of Hashem. This is the idea of the revelation of the 13 attributes of mercy in the month of Elul. This is the preparation that we should be able to do tshuva. That we should experience the void of Elul, that I'm connecting to Hashem, meaning the real essence of the Jew is connecting to the essence of Hashem. Even though the whole year, during the Tachnun prayers that we say after Shemona Esrei, we say also the 13 attributes of mercy, the way that they're mentioned in the Kisisa, the way that they're mentioned when Moshe Rabbeinu was praying for the Jewish people after the sin of the golden calf, those 13 attributes of mercy. This mercy of Hashem mentioned in Parshas Kisisa is for the life of the body, meaning for our physical life, which the Alter is going to explain in two ways. First of all, that we should physically live, and second of all, that we should have the power to refine the animal soul and the physical body. So that mercy from Hashem is the way that it's connected to our physical life, our physical existence. But 13 attributes of mercy, which are shining in the month of Elul, this is Hashem's mercy on the life of the soul, on the life of the godly soul, the nefesh alakis. To awaken it to this deeper level of teshuva that should connect to the essence of Hashem, which would thereby fulfill whatever was missing in His purpose in this world through the mitzvahs. Page 19 at the top. This is the meaning of what it says in the pasuk, that I'm connecting. A Jew is connecting to Hashem. Hashem is connecting to the Jew, and He feeds us with roses. He nourishes us with roses. Pirish roya. What does the word roya means? To feed, to nourish. What does that mean? He nourishes us with roses. He nourishes the Jewish people with the spiritual energy to be able to do tshuva. This is the idea that he nourishes them with roses. The whole year in Shema, when we say Shema, we say, Hashem says, if you fulfill the mitzvahs properly, then I will give grass in your fields for your animals. Which means not just Hashem will physically give us physical grass for the physical animals, but also He'll give us spiritual food for the spiritual animal, meaning for the animal soul. What does it mean, your animal? In comparison, in relation to the godly soul, your animal means your nefesh abahamis, your animal soul, and nefesh asichlis, your human intellect. Because the godly soul is even beyond just human knowledge, human awareness, human understanding. The godly soul is an awareness of Hashem, is an awareness of godliness, an awareness of Elokus. And it's on a totally higher level than just regular human knowledge. So in relation to the godly soul, the nefesh elokis, both the animal soul and the human intellect, they're both called your animal. And Hashem gives power, gives strength to the godly soul that it should feed his animal soul, feed his human intellect with an awareness and knowledge of Hashem, that they should also come to love Hashem. That's called, He gives grass in your fields for your animals, meaning He gives us the spiritual nourishment that we should be able to teach the human intellect and the animal soul how they should also love Hashem. The meaning of your animal spiritually means the animal soul and the human intellect, the nefesh asichlis, the intellect soul. In order that they should also agree to love Hashem. The sages established that before the Shemona Esrei prayer, before the main part of the prayer, we have to say Shema. And when we say Shema, we say two blessings before, which the two blessings before Shema speak about how the angels come to a great love for Hashem, how they have such a great awareness of Hashem and a love for Hashem. And since these angels are the spiritual source of our animal soul and of our human intellect, so by realizing how much they love Hashem, that awakens and empowers our animal soul and our human intellect, they should also come to love Hashem. What does it say in those blessings? That the different types of angels have this awareness of Hashem, and so too our animal soul and our human intellect can also have this awareness of Hashem. And before we say the blessings on the Shema, we say verses of praise, which are called Psukei Zimra, that are from the Tehillim, are from the Psalms, which describe the greatness of Hashem, how Hashem is creating the world and giving to all the created beings what they need. Which all of these verses and all these blessings that we say before the Shema is in order that we should come to have an expanded awareness of the greatness of Hashem, until even our animal soul and our intellect should agree that it's proper for every created being to have a love and a yearning to connect to Hashem. Page 20 at the top. However, in order to awaken the love of the godly soul, a person doesn't need so much contemplation. He doesn't need to figure out so much about the greatness of Hashem in order for his godly soul to love Hashem, because the godly soul naturally loves Hashem. Shorei near Hashem nishma sadam. Because the soul of man, the soul of man is like Hashem's light. It's like Hashem's flame. It's like a flame for Hashem, a flame of a candle which is yearning for Hashem. This is the nature of every Jewish soul. That it should be their desire to want to connect to Hashem. So since the nature of every Jewish soul is that it wants to connect to Hashem, so we don't need so much contemplation to create a love for Hashem in the godly soul. All we need to do is reveal the natural love that the godly soul has, that it naturally wants to connect to Hashem, just like the flame of a candle, that it naturally wants to go back up to its source. So too, the godly soul, the nefesh elokis, naturally wants to go up and reconnect to Hashem. And all you have to do is reveal that nature of the godly soul. Whereas the animal soul, the human intellect, you have to create a love for Hashem in them. You have to teach them. We have to teach, meaning we have to teach ourselves. We have to teach the lower elements of our personality how to love Hashem. This is the meaning of what it says. And I will give grass in your fields for your animals. What's the spiritual idea of grass? Is a reference to certain types of angels, which these are messengers, which through them there's coming a revelation from Hashem, so that the person should have the spiritual power to transform the animal soul, that it should also come to a love for Hashem. So that's the idea of the grass. So giving grass in the fields for the animals means Hashem is giving us, through angels, through malachim, He's giving us spiritual power to teach our animal soul and our human intellect how to love Hashem. That's what it means. He spiritually gives us this spiritual grass, meaning this awareness of Hashem, to the spiritual animal, which is the animal soul and the human intellect. That's what it means. I'll give grass in your fields for your animals. So this idea that Hashem is revealing Himself in such a way that it's giving us the power to transform the animal soul and the human intellect, that's the whole year. But in the month of Elul and the Tishrei, there's a special revelation of Hashem on a higher level, which is not just empowering us to transform the animal soul, but is allowing us to access a deeper level of our godly soul, of the Nefesh Elokis. And that's what it means He feeds us with roses. Then instead of just feeding us this grass, which means giving us the power to transform the animal soul, He feeds us with roses, which have 13 petals corresponding to the 13 attributes of mercy, which means that He's giving us this greater strength and this greater spiritual power to awaken the essence of the godly soul, that it should connect to the essence of Hashem in Teshuva. But regarding the month of El, it says, He nourishes us with roses, which are the 13 attributes of mercy, which are revealed in the month of Elul, which gives the power to do Teshuva, to fulfill whatever was lacking in our Torah and mitzvahs. On page 21 at the top. This is a note from the Tzemach Tzedek in explaining the flow of the maamar from the Alter Rebbe. So he explains as follows: this revelation of Hashem, which corresponds to the idea of roses, is also necessary for the godly soul itself. Even though we said before, it's the nature of the godly soul to want to connect to Hashem. So why do you have to feed it roses? Why do you have to have this special revelation of the 13 attributes of mercy in order that it should have this connection to Hashem? It naturally wants to connect to Hashem. The idea is, in the godly soul itself, in the Nefesh Elokis, there's different levels of its connection to Hashem. And the natural connection to Hashem is only one level. The one level is how it naturally wants to connect to Hashem. But in order that it should have a connection to Hashem in the way of Teshuva, which is a much higher level than its natural connection to Hashem, because Teshuva is a much more intense and a much deeper connection than just the regular natural desire to connect in the godly soul. The idea of Teshuva is that it wants to connect to Hashem beyond any limitations, beyond what it can even handle. For this, it needs a special assistance from Hashem. It needs a special revelation from Hashem that should come to such a deep level of Teshuva. This is the idea of asking Hashem, He should return to us, meaning He should give us help, that we should return to Him on a much deeper level than even our natural desire of the godly soul. Regarding this help from above, help from Hashem, to reach such a deep level of Teshuva, regarding that it says He feeds us with roses. That's the purpose of the 13 attributes of mercy in the month of Elul, to give the godly soul this extra power to do Teshuva on a much deeper level than the natural connection of the godly soul. Now our sages have said, the word Shashanim, that He feeds with roses, is similar to the word Shoshanim. The word Shoshanim and Shoshanim have the same letters. Shoshanim means roses, and Shoshanim means those who study. What does that mean? Pirish Shoshanim hu bechinas Torah. Those who study means people who study Torah. Like it says that whoever reads the Chumash and reads the Mishnayos, Hashem is reading along with him. So Shoshanim means to study Torah. And what's the idea of saying that? What's the connection between saying he feeds us with roses, he nourishes us with roses, and the idea of Torah study? The idea is Teshuva has to fulfill whatever was missing. Both what's lacking through not fulfilling the mitzvahs. That when he's not fulfilling the mitzvahs, then he's holding back the revelation of the encompassing light of Hashem, which is drawn down through the mitzvahs. And Teshuva also has to fix up and fill the lack that's created through a Jew not studying Torah, which through the study of Torah, that's how Hashem's light is coming to permeate and be internalized in the world. And when he's not studying Torah, then that revelation of Hashem, that internalized revelation of Hashem is held back. So Teshuva has to fill that also. Not just he has to do Teshuva for the lack of mitzvahs, he also has to do Teshuva for the lack of Torah study. So that's why Teshuva has to have both aspects. It has to have the aspect of encompassing light and the aspect of the internalized light. So that's why we said, on the one hand, it's like the roses, which are the 13 attributes of mercy, which is connected to Hashem's encompassing light, and also Shoshanim, those who study, because Teshuva has to accomplish what the lack of the Torah study would have accomplished. That's why we say that we ask Hashem to bring us back in complete Teshuva. Teshuva not just for the lack of mitzvahs, but also for the lack of Torah study. That's why it says, he feeds us with roses. If one rose has 13 petals, and Hashem is shining 13 attributes of mercy, so it could have just said, he feeds us with a rose, that rose that has 13 petals corresponds to 13 attributes of mercy. The fact that it says roses in the plural form means that there's two types of roses, meaning the word Shoshanim could be interpreted two ways. It could be interpreted as a rose, or it could be interpreted as those who study Shoshanim. Shoshana kivshuta yeshuas eretz yugim mechilin derachame shim mechinas seviv kalmin. The first is an actual rose, meaning the idea of a rose that has 13 petals, which that corresponds to 13 attributes of mercy, which corresponds to Hashem's encompassing light, which is normally revealed through the mitzvahs, and Teshuva has to make up for that revelation. And the word Shoshanim could also be read as Shoshanim, those who study Torah, because through Teshuva, it makes up for the lack of Torah study, which is the idea of Memalakom, and how Hashem's light is internalized in the world. So Teshuva has to have both aspects. It has to make up for the lack of the revelation of Hashem's encompassing light and the internalized light. And so that's why Shoshanim could be interpreted both ways. Now we can understand another idea of how Simchas Torah, why it's specifically after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. That Simchas Torah means you're rejoicing in the Torah. Now, you would think, when should you rejoice in the Torah? On Shavuos, on the festival of Shavuos, on the festival of the giving of the Torah. Hashem gave us the Torah on the 6th day of Sivan. So on that day, we should have a big celebration. And we should take out the Sefer Torah and we should dance. Why after Yom Kippur and after Sukkot, we take out the Sefer Torah and we dance? What connection does Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur have to do with rejoicing in the Torah? The idea of Simchas Torah is the joy of the mitzvah and the joy of the Torah study for the whole year. Because since the whole year, if a Jew is not fulfilling the mitzvahs properly, that encompassing light of Hashem is not revealed. And in the short amount of time of Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, he's able to bring down the whole revelation of all the mitzvahs that he was lacking throughout the entire year in that short time span. So it's like all the mitzvahs that he could have done that year is all accomplished in that short time. And the same thing, all the Torah study that he was missing out on the whole year, through his Teshuva, from this deeper level of Teshuva, connecting to the essence of Hashem, he's able to accomplish all the Torah study, the revelation of Hashem to the Torah study was lacking through the whole year. So it's as if all the Torah and all the mitzvahs of all the year is all encapsulated, is all happening in the Teshuva of El Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And that's why we celebrate specifically then, because it's such an intense revelation of the Torah and the mitzvahs of the whole year in that short time of El Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. When this on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, this revelation of Hashem is brought down to fill in all the light that was lacking from everything that he could have accomplished in the past year. Then he has this joy in the mitzvahs, because it's as if he did all the mitzvahs of all the year on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Since through his Teshuva, he's bringing down the light that he would have brought down through the mitzvahs over the year. He's bringing all that down on the few days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And so that's why it's a very intense joy when that revelation is accomplished, when what he was supposed to accomplish that year is then fulfilled, is then accomplished in that short amount of time. But in order to reach that revelation of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which is then expressed in Sukkot and Simchas Torah, which is then expressed in this great joy coming afterwards, there has to be first the idea of Teshuva, which the power for Teshuva comes in Elul. So even though Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are very special days, but the power for doing Teshuva starts in the month of Elul, when Hashem's 13 attributes of mercy are revealed, and reveals this deeper part of our neshama, which is then of our soul, which is then connecting to the essence of Hashem. So this power for Teshuva is then expressed in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and in the joy and happiness in Sukkot and Simchas Torah. Summary, page 24. Summary of part 2 of the maamar. Question number 1. What is the idea that Hashem commands us to fulfill the mitzvah specifically today? Why is it only today we can do the mitzvahs? Answer to question 1. Today means in this physical world that we currently live in, here the Torah is telling us that not only in the physical world we have the power to fulfill the mitzvahs, but also in this physical world we have the power to do Teshuva. So that's what it really means, two things. Why are we only able to do mitzvahs here is not just because mitzvahs are physical and we live in the physical world. Because in order to do mitzvahs, there has to be the encompassing light of Hashem. That's really why we're able to do mitzvahs in this physical world. And since in this physical world the encompassing light of Hashem is expressed, that's also why we can do Teshuva. Whereas in the spiritual world, where this encompassing light of Hashem is not revealed, not only we can't do mitzvahs, we also can't do Teshuva in the spiritual world. Question number 2. What is the main purpose of the godly souls descended in this world? Answer to question 2. The purpose is to refine and transform the body, the animal soul, the human intellect, to transform them into holiness. How is this accomplished? It's accomplished in particular through the contemplation of Hashem during prayer, where we contemplate on Hashem's true existence and how He constantly creates us and guides the world, until the animal soul and the human intellect will also come to a great love for Hashem. That's in particular. And in general, it's accomplished through the Torah study and the mitzvahs that we perform every day, which whenever we study Torah, whenever we do a mitzvah, this refines and transforms one aspect of the body, the animal soul, and the human intellect. And the fact that we're able to make this transformation is because of this encompassing light of Hashem, which is expressed in the physical world, which gives the possibility, which the encompassing light of Hashem gives all possibilities a chance. And so it also gives a chance for us to transform from unholiness into holiness, from bad into good, and from coarse and material into spiritual and holy. And so that through the Torah and the mitzvahs and the prayer, we're able to transform the body and the animal soul and our portion in the world. Question number 3. What happens if we don't accomplish this transformation of our body and animal soul through the Torah and the mitzvahs and the prayer and the davening? Is there any way to make it up? Answer to question 3. Yes, through Teshuva we can make up for whatever was lacking in the revelation of Hashem, and in the transformation of the body and the animal soul. The reason that Teshuva is able to accomplish this is because it brings forth a new revelation from the essence of Hashem, which is even higher than the encompassing light and the internalizing light, which was supposed to be revealed through the Torah and the mitzvahs. So even though the Torah and the mitzvahs are revealing very deep levels of Hashem, very deep expression of Hashem, but Teshuva is reaching an even deeper level on Hashem, and therefore is able to accomplish whatever was supposed to be accomplished through the Torah and the mitzvahs. Question number 4. How can we reach such a high level of revealing the essence of Hashem through Teshuva if we're physical people living in the physical world? Answer to question 4. In the month of Elul, we have a special opportunity. For sure, the whole year, a Jew can always do Teshuva, because since it's one of the mitzvahs, one of the commandments of the Torah is that we should do Teshuva. So there's no question that any day of the year, Hashem gives power to a Jew that he should be able to do Teshuva. But Hashem gives extra strength and extra power and extra capability to a Jew in the month of Elul to do Teshuva by revealing the 13 attributes of mercy, which these 13 attributes of mercy help us to reach to a deeper level of our neshama, a deeper level of our soul, which then connects to the deeper level of Hashem. Question number 5. What is the difference between the 13 attributes of mercy that we mentioned the whole year and in the Tachanun prayer, and the 13 attributes of mercy expressed specifically in the month of Elul? Answer to question 5. The 13 attributes of mercy that we say the whole year are asking Hashem to have mercy on our physical life and to give us the power to refine the body and the animal soul. However, the 13 attributes of mercy expressed in Elul are in order to give power to the godly soul, to the nefesh elokis, they should be able to do tshuva from its essence, from its deepest aspect, beyond its normal capability, beyond its normal desire to connect. It should reach a much deeper level of teshuva, a deeper level of connection, and thereby be able to reveal the essence of Hashem. That's the idea of the 13 attributes of mercy, which are specifically in the 40 days from Rosh Chodesh Elul till Yom Kippur, from the beginning of Elul till Yom Kippur. Question number 6. Why do we celebrate Simchas Torah after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur instead of on Shavuos, which is when the Torah was given? Answer to question 6. The greatest celebration is when we use the power given to us by Hashem to reveal Hashem through our own efforts in the Torah, through the Torah and the mitzvahs. Since we accomplish the revelation of Hashem equal to that of all the Torah and the mitzvahs in the past year, through the Teshuva that we do, through the Teshuva that we accomplish in Elul, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur, so we celebrate that new revelation of Hashem, which is coming from our own efforts after Yom Kippur, after we complete the Teshuva process. In other words, this revelation of Hashem, which is accomplished in Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, which is able to fill in and accomplish whatever was missing the whole entire year, not just is it an intense revelation, because